Our Tameside with Sarah Hall.
You've had great success as a foster carer with Adoption Now. Can you tell us about your role?
Our role, it's both myself and my husband, but I'm the main foster carer. Our role is to take these children into our home and kind of rehabilitate them in a way and look after them until such times as the local authority and Adoption Now have decided, what's going to happen with the children in the future. We get children ready to move on to adoption, to permanent families, which is a nice thing to do, a hard thing to do, but also a really rewarding thing to do.
And how do you prepare the children to move on to adoptive families?
We work really closely with the children's foster carer and then with a social worker from Adoption Now. We introduce them to the forever family, bit by bit. It's quite hard work, both emotionally and physically. It normally works over perhaps a 4 to 6 week period, and they're introduced slowly to the potential adoptive parents. We would meet them just maybe for an hour one time, and then we build it up to the point where they're coming to the house every day. If they're little ones, they'll come and they'll take over the day-to-day looking after of the children. They'll come for breakfast time and get them ready and take them out and then bring them back and put them to bed, just so that the children get used to that scenario.
That must be quite difficult for you, having been with the child and fostered them for a period of time. How do you deal with that after having nurtured the child for such a long time?
It's hard. It's probably one of the hardest things you'll do as a foster carer, but don't let that put you off, because, when you see these children come into your care and some of them it's just tragic, and then you see them blossom and then you can see, a fantastic future ahead for them. That makes it easier. We also couldn't do it without the support from the social workers from Adoption Now and the children's local authority social workers. They support you through all the way. They're really, really good. Unfortunately, there's no counselling for foster carers afterwards, so you kind of got to get on and do it yourself, but we find it's easier to keep busy. But it is kind of like a grieving process. When you've looked after these children, some of them come to you as babies and, are 2 and 3 before the adoption process is completed. It's kind of like giving your own children away. We felt that the first time we did it. But you get loads and loads of support, and without that support, we couldn't manage. And we have a fantastic family. Everybody, when we decided to be foster carers, everybody in our extended family agreed also to help, and that that they would be part of that as well. And without them, we couldn't have managed. We can't manage without them.
And what motivated you to become a foster carer?
When our children grew up, I think I kind of got empty nest syndrome. The house was too quiet. I never like it quiet. And we had thought about being foster carers when our children were younger. But then I think we're just a bit scared that we might not be good at it and we might not be able to do it. But I would just advise anybody, go for it. It's the best thing we ever did. And I just wish we'd have done it 20 years earlier.
Why is adoption so important for the children in care?
Because they need that sense of belonging. They need that forever family. And children like to be like the other children at school. It's just really, really important. And it's such a rewarding thing to move children on through the adoption process and see how happy they are at the end of the day. It's just an amazing feeling.
So what would your advice be to anybody considering becoming a foster carer or thinking about their forever families and considering adoption?
Just go for it. Go for it. You know, these children bring so much joy into our lives, and yeah, it's distressing and sad when they move on in one way, but it's also the best feeling in the world when you see these children that have gone through the adoption process and are now with their forever families. And if you work closely with the adopters, sometimes you are able to stay in touch and watch that progress from afar, and that's just the best feeling in the world, that we've contributed to. It's kind of like a happy ending, really. It's just go for it. Don't be scared. We were really, really scared to become foster carers because we didn't want to let anybody down. But at the end of the day, you're only human, and these children, they'll bring just joy and delight to your life every day.
Tameside Radio.